Hey Coach, Scott Rasmussen here, going over my teaching points for the squat and the clean. First off with the squat, everything starts with the rack position. If you're not in a good rack position, it doesn't really matter what you're doing in the lift. So the first thing we want to make sure is that the bar sits on the meat of your traps up here. It's not on the cervical spine. It's not down on your shoulder blades like in a low bar squat. And you want to have your hands in tight enough that you get some upper back tightness, and you want your elbows straight down. Again, just creating more upper back tightness. And that's also going to help bend the bar kind of in a U shape, really get some whip out of it. One thing that's also important to preach is a neutral spine through a couple key areas. First of all, cervical spine. You really want that. You don't want your neck craned like this, looking up in your squat. You don't want it looking down at the ground. You want it looking straight ahead. Second spot, lumbar vertebrae. You got a natural curve in your lumbar spine. You want to maintain that as much as you can. You want to arch your back throughout the lift, not round it, but arch it. You know, you'd rather have an arched back than a flat back or a rounded back. Just some safety with the low back. From there, the first thing, the thing that I cue is I say knees out in the squat, and you want to sit down, not back. You know, with a squat, you're trying to drop an upright torso between your legs, and pushing your knees out is going to give you as much room as possible to do that. From there, you want to keep the weight on your heels and through your midfoot. You don't want any pressure on your toes. In fact, at the bottom of a squat, you should be able to ideally wiggle your toes around and everything like that. And then lastly, you want to move the bar as fast as possible through the concentric part of the motion. Slow, controlled eccentric, followed by an explosive concentric. It's really going to give us the adaptation we want for strength and speed. Now going into the clean, again, everything starts with the setup. You want the bar positioned about right over your shoelaces. When you approach the bar, grab it. You're going to use that to pull your hips down, which is going to pull your chest up. It's going to put you in a really good spot. Start engaging your posterior chain a little bit more. Once you start to break the bar off the floor, you want your hips and your shoulders to rise at the same rate. You don't want your hips to shoot up while your shoulders are still down, giving your chest the look of being parallel to the floor. You know, that's not what we want in terms of your low back. From there, we want an explosive second pull. So when we get that bar to the knees, between the knees and the hips, you want to be moving that bar as fast as you can. Going into your power position here. And when you get to that power position, you want to reintroduce the bar to your body. So some people do that by using a hip hit. You know, I don't necessarily think that you have to with they're not an Olympic weightlifter or anything, but the bar has to come back into the body for the best bar path and to get the most power output for the movement. From there, you jump, shrug, wrap your elbows in your body underneath the bar, trying to get that bar sitting in a good front rack position, right on the meat of your deltoids here. Elbows up, coming out of the hole. You can catch it. You know, I don't care how an athlete wants to catch it. Obviously, if they can catch it in a power position, they can catch it high, great. But if they have to go down to a full squat to catch it, you know, so be it. Want them always making sure that they're leading with their elbows, though, if they do go into that full front squat position and exploding up.